Hey, crypto heads, we're back. This is the Goose with the Cryptic Paranormal Show. Thank you for dealing with us last week. Had some issues at home. Everything is good. Everything's taken care of. But here we're back. We got Nick back on. Thank you, Nick, for being flexible with us and coming back this week.
That's why I do yoga.
Nice. So we're back, and Heisenberg hopefully is going to be jumping back on here soon. He was having some technical difficulties.
He's not coming back. No.
That's fine. We can rock it without him, right?
He literally called us suckers as he signed off.
I know, right?
He's not coming back.
What a good man. What a good man. All right. Hold on a second. So we're back, and we got Nick on. So let's just jump into. Well, Denise, how's your couple weeks been? Pretty good?
Were we not going to talk about my director position on the board of directors?
Congratulations.
I'm just kidding. I have no idea what it means. I'm just really excited to put it on my business card.
Hey, you know what? Whatever business card filler and resume filler, it's amazing. So
that's what I'm
congratulations.
Saying.
Hopefully it's something you actually want to do.
I get to plan the Christmas party, so
well, hey, there you go. And you're a good planner, so that's all you.
I'm excited about that. Other than that,
all right. Good. Nope, nothing here. I'm just getting ready for the Old Mill Parafest, Paracon this weekend. It's gonna be fun. Got a lot of work to get done after we're done with the show. So, hey, Tim Miley, what's up, buddy? So Nick, let's start with you, man. I had the honor of being on your show. We shot the shit for a while. It was a good time.
Absolutely.
Figured it's way past the time to get you on here. So let's start with your origin story, man. How did you get into this weird stuff?
Oh, let's see. Do you want the real story? You want me to come up with something funny?
The real story, I guess.
Give us both, and then we'll decide which one is real. I'm just kidding. Yeah, the real story.
I was bored one weekend, and I got older, and I couldn't play softball anymore, and had to find something else to do. And was watching Ghost Adventures, and I said, "This guy's an idiot. I could do this."
I feel like that's how we all got started.
Yeah,
right? Fucking douchebag. No, I mean, everybody's got their unique story, to be honest with you.
Right.
Mine, I don't know, it's unique. It's kind of the same as other people, but I remember as a kid, I would see spirits all the time. When I stayed at my dad's house, that house was originally a funeral home. And
okay.
So much activity, which today I realize a lot what we saw in the house was residual energy in the house. I mean, we would see full body apparitions, footsteps, doors slamming, and odd things. But as a kid, you're scared shitless.
Yeah.
And I was always fascinated with the paranormal. But it was just like it was just a family topic. My mom's always been into it. My sister, when the ghost hunters came out, we'd all would watch it and call each other and talk about it. Like, this is cool. Like, there's actually people hunting ghosts.
Yeah.
Like before that, I had like no idea that people actually went out and like investigated. That's how oblivious I was to all this. But I even seeing that, I was a good, big, huge fan. But I had no interest in, doing this stuff. And it wasn't until about 2016, went through traumatic stuff in life, went through a divorce, and I was remodeling my house and, making like a master bedroom suite downstairs. So I for the year and a half after my divorce, I slept on my couch till I was done. And I don't know, we always had activity in the house. The kids always talked about activity in the house, seeing shadow figures. I've seen shadow figures in my house. My brother-in-law at the time talked about he was sleeping in my daughter's room and he got pulled out of bed, but it was still just a topic, just like ignore it. Until
you got pulled out of bed and it's just a topic,
right? Like
it's just
okay.
I was a sports nut. Like my whole life was sports. I played
I
sports. Like
gotcha.
anything else, I had no interest in. And
I
it
gotcha.
wasn't until the house really erupted and I started having dreams of the spirits in the house, throwing me downstairs,
Oh
violently
shit.
attacking me. Then I was getting help. You know, it got to the point where I was physically getting attacked in my house. There was a there was 3 times where I was sleeping on the couch where I woke up and it was like sleep paralysis, but a little more. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
it it was fucked up, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. Um, we would start hearing disembodied screams in the house. It was affecting me. It was affecting all 3 of my kids, and I was just like,
Right.
I didn't know what to do.
Mhm.
And you know, I knew my sister was always into this stuff. She was into witchcraft and you know Wicca stuff, and so I called her one day and I was like, look, and I kind of explained like what was been going on. I said, can you like, I don't know, find somebody to help me? And you know, she made some calls, found a guy named Randall Smith, and he's a world renowned shaman. Um, uh, you know, I paid him to come up to the house to clear it, and even when he, you know, my whole thought process is like, I'm just gonna piss money away, like this is stupid. Uh,
Right. Yeah.
But anyways, it was worth a shot, you know what I'm saying? And the guy shows up and he walks in my door and he's like literally talking to my animals, my dogs, and I'm like, "Oh my god, this guy is a fucking idiot. Oh my god, what did she get me into?" And you know, we end up leaving. We come back like 2 hours later, but I'm telling you, man, coming back, walking into my house was like the most peaceful experience I've ever had in my life.
Hmm.
You know, living in a house with so much negativity for, you know, 7, 8 years
Yeah.
Mhm.
and walking back in, it was just, it's hard to put into words, to be honest with you.
Right.
And, you know, talking with Randall and him telling me what spirits were in the house. And I already knew, I mean, I knew, you know,
Yeah.
and it was like, holy crap. And like, there was no more activity. Everything was great, you know, and I
Yeah.
just kind of looked at my sister and was like, you know, we need to do this type of thing. And she was like, do what? And I'm like, I don't know what is, but I
Whatever
just,
this is.
Yeah.
whatever this is like,
Yeah.
we need to help other people. And
Right.
we put a game plan together and put a team together. And, you know, there was me and my sister, my cousin Liz, and then my sister's sister-in-law at the time. And we put a team together and called it Old World Paranormal Society. And you know, it was just the logistics. You made a Facebook page, you made this, you did
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Right.
I started researching, and then I bought my first ghost hunting equipment. I thought I was like King Dick shit. I mean, I had a thermometer and a K2 and a
Yeah.
cheap
Yep.
Yeah, dude.
camera, and I'm like, I
Yeah.
am the man,
You're a
you know.
professional. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. I had one of those little fold out JVC cameras you could get at like CVS, and
right.
Randa Dixon got myself a compass. It's like, yeah, I
I
remember that.
bought
Like the $10 Elf Zone EMF detector.
right. You know that when that little green pencil laser grid came, like, oh my god, I was so amazed. But
I have to
you know,
admit that does make for good videos and pictures, though.
oh yeah, absolutely,
Oh
absolutely.
yeah, yeah, I agree.
And you know, we got our first residential case, and you know, it went really well. We had so much, you know, activity. We ended up getting a lot of evidence, and I don't know. We just thought it would be a hobby, and we'd help a few people. And next thing you know, the phone started ringing off the hook, and
Yeah,
but you know what's crazy, guys? Even like our first couple years, like I was still kind of oblivious to the paranormal world. Like I did not have any clue that there's like
yeah,
4,000 paranormal teams in the world,
Right.
and there's
yeah.
networks and
Oh yeah,
conventions and all this stuff I had no idea, like
Yeah.
no clue. And you know, and slowly and surely, you know, you get intertwined in the
yeah.
community and start shaking babies and kissing hands, and here you are.
Holly
I
wanted to
think
know
it's
if you
funny
had a
too.
dream catcher in the background there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's the one I bought for her at
Oh, cool.
Mid Michigan last weekend.
I get it, Holly. I see what you're doing there. No, Holly makes some awesome stuff. That's awesome.
Hey, I
Yeah.
had to buy it. She didn't give it to me, so.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Denise.
Oh, you're all
That's
right.
okay. I think it's funny too once you get into it and once you start like getting out there to realize how many people actually do it. Like people like I just talked to a lady who is probably like 70 years old.
Yeah.
She volunteers with me at my work and I talked to her and she was telling me about how she goes and travels all over the place and does this. I'm like, "What?"
Right.
It's
Right.
it's crazy just the people in your everyday life that you realize do the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I bet we were in
What's up, Connor?
the field. I think it was my 4th year before I actually went to like a famous location.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
I
yeah.
went to the Randolph because I was always kind of against it. I'm like, I'm not paying to play. Our phone rings off the hook, and we do residential cases all the time. Like, but once that first one I went, I was hooked. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, this is cool. And
They're fun, man. I mean, it's how we meet everybody we eventually have on the show, and it's just we've made some really good friends.
And I like to
Like
see the
you.
history of the buildings and listen to the tours and I
right.
don't know. I like it.
And, and I'll be honest with you, a lot of things changed when I got the opportunity to open the Bell Mansion with Angie
Mhm.
and that whole experience. I mean, I was involved for 3 years there, and of course, a year and a half of it was before we actually opened the doors. But
Yeah.
being the team that got the opportunity to be the one to investigate it first and
Yeah.
get the opportunity to open a location and share it with the world, and having so many different people around the world coming into this facility and meeting them and enjoying all that stuff. That was kind of the game changer to me, as far as the
Yeah.
paranormal community. It's a spooky place, yeah. Well, it can be. I ain't gonna lie. But time moves on, and things happen. Obviously, Angie and I went our separate ways, and the team and I, no longer a part of it. But I will always love the building.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
I miss the spirits tremendously.
Mhm.
I put you go in a place and you have a special bond with spirits for so long. I mean, it's
Yeah.
like that additional family. But yeah, I mean that's it. Paranormal feels wonderful. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is something I'm going to do till the day I die, and then I'm going to haunt all you people.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh,
that's I'll tell you, shut up, even in the afterlife, buddy.
code word tonight is shut up, guys.
Yeah.
See if we can get it. But no, I mean,
That's awesome.
for all the opportunities I've had so far and what I've done, I'm truly blessed.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, and as long as you like keep the blinders on to all the drama, which
Yeah.
I'm getting really good at.
Yeah.
yeah,
It can everybody's like, "Oh, I'm going to leave the paranormal. There's so much drama." I'm like, "Why would you leave something you love?
Right.
Just choose who you listen to. If
Right.
somebody's causing shit, just delete, delete, delete. Shut up,
Yeah.
delete. You know what I mean?
And the
It's
other
just
thing too is like it's drama because it's human beings. Like human beings,
it
we all
doesn't
do this
matter
because
what
we
you
like
do.
talking to the
Yeah,
dead more than we like
right.
talking to human beings.
yeah,
So
that's true.
it doesn't matter what hobby you pick, there's going to be human beings there and they're going to be annoying and start drama. So you might as well keep
Mhm.
doing what you love.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter what field you're in or what you're
No.
doing. There's
Right.
people that like drama and there's people that don't. And
Yeah.
Here you go,
I
Connor.
I look at it. I look at it this way. It's like I don't agree with a lot of shit, but
Yeah.
I always look at it to the point where what they're doing is what they're doing. Like if
Mhm.
the roles were reversed and
Mhm.
that person called me and said you shouldn't do this or do that,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go tell them to fuck off.
Right.
You know, so
Right.
who am I to say what they're doing? I don't like it, but at the end of the day, it has nothing to do with me. It doesn't affect
Right.
me.
No,
It doesn't affect
Right.
my
you don't
direction.
like it, you just don't do it. I mean,
Yeah.
and
You
you
know,
know, nobody
so
knows shit in this field, anyways. I mean, we're all learning
Right.
constantly. I mean, and we can
everybody's an
learn one thing, and
expert, dude.
it'll be like like that's the way I do this, and then you can go out a couple more times, it doesn't work worth a shit. So you start
Yeah.
do something else. You gotta
I know
juke and
him.
jive all the time to figure shit out. It's nobody knows.
John Ward
John
definitely.
Ward,
He
yeah,
John
he
knows.
Ward
knows
knows
everything.
everything.
He
He's an
does.
expert.
I want to go back to Travis's question. I'm not really up to date on it. I mean, I've seen the back and forth on what's happening with Bobby Mackey's. There's a
Right.
lot of stuff saying that he's tearing it down. I know it's definitely closed. I don't know what for. I mean, I know it needed some renovation because the thing was
Mm,
falling into the river. So, this was years ago that I know. I think it was Heisenberg said he was there with the group. I wasn't able to go on that trip, but
right.
he was there and he said, yeah, it felt like it was falling in the river. It was all slanted and it was just like, it just not safe. So, I mean, hopefully he's just renovating it and it's still going to be there, but maybe it won't be the same place. I don't know. So I don't know what to think about the
Yeah, I
rumors
have
right
no
now. They're
idea.
just rumors until I actually see somebody post from Bobby Mackey's on exactly
Well, that's
what's
the thing.
happening.
I haven't seen an actual post from, you know, him
Right.
himself or his
Yeah.
staff or anything.
Right.
I don't know if one post says it's getting torn down, the next post says it's being remodeled. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think I'll just
So,
wait to hear from the
yeah.
source before I make an opinion.
In the meantime, there's plenty of other locations we can go check out. So
Yeah.
I know people love that place. I've never been there, so I can't really
I haven't been there either. I don't know.
pass
Me neither.
judgment on it. But there's still so many places right here in Ohio that I need to go explore.
Oh, here we go. The expert Connor said it's
getting
getting remodeled,
remodeled.
not torn down.
Okay. I know somebody said that Bobby Mackey actually made a comment or made a post, but I didn't see it. So again, it was just word of mouth, and
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, that's good.
At the end of the day, if it gets torn down, it gets torn down. If it gets
Right.
remodeled, it gets remodeled. Like,
Yeah, and
I
you
don't
hate to
know.
see that, but I mean, sometimes you really don't have a choice. It's
Yeah.
either,
Right.
I mean, if you're gonna rebuild it, you have to rebuild it completely, like from the bottom up, and
I mean, if the foundation's crumbling and it's literally,
Right.
right,
going towards the river, I mean, there's only so much you can do.
Yeah. And if it's
Um,
dangerous for people to be there.
correct.
right,
Correct.
yeah.
So,
Yeah, there's so many places that like I find like out in the middle of nowhere that I like walk into, and I'm like, man, this would be so cool to like ghost hunt in, but looking
of
at the
course.
big like holes in the floor and like the rotten ceilings, I'm like, damn it.
I swear
It's
it's
too
like
much of an
every year
undertaking.
there's probably 20, 30 new locations popping
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dollar General.
Oh my gosh.
Dude, that is the American way.
American way. That's for sure.
It's so funny too, because we were going to one of our spots that we are lucky to be able to. We're the only team that goes in there unless I take somebody with me. It's the
Right.
Historical Society out in Shalersville, Ohio, where I grew up, and I had just stopped in at the Dollar General down the store, which had just been built like 2 years prior, and she saw my ghost hunting T-shirt on, for my team, and she's like, "Oh, you do that? You guys should come here." And I'm like, "I can't ghost hunt in Dollar General." I'm like, plus it's a brand new building. I'm like, what's going on? I mean, possibly it could be the land.
Right.
But I mean, do you ever get that? Do you just like, if you wear like a shirt, do people just come up to you and start asking you questions? And
Oh yeah, I mean, you get the strange looks, or you get the people that are really curious, or
Mhm.
I just randomly walk into a place that's completely out of town, and you get "You're Nick, aren't you?" And I'm like,
yeah,
you look at him like, "Who the fuck are you?"
yeah,
I'm like, but then you also get the people that are like Bible thumpers and Lutherans and
oh yeah,
stuff,
dude.
and they come at you, and
Yep.
you're like, you just sit here and like shake your head, like contemplating, do I want to go there and put this person in their place, or am I
Yeah.
Right.
supposed to like God bless and walk away?
Well, it's funny. I dropped my son off, my oldest. I dropped him off for teen night at the church, like 2 doors down from the seminary. And I told them, I was like, hey, he was like 11 or 12. Like, so I was supposed to go there and pick him up and sign him out. And so I was talking to the lady at the door. I was like, hey, I know this is like unconventional. I know you guys get off at 10, but I'm going to be doing flashlight tours at the seminary. Is there any way that he could just walk? He doesn't even have to walk in the road or across the road. It's literally like through the pastor's yard, another yard, and then he's there. Like, I'm
Right,
totally
right.
fine with it. Is it okay with you? And she
Mhm.
was like, I'll just drive him. And I was like, okay, that's fine. And then she was like, so tell me, do you really see ghosts there? And I'm like, I'm going to tell your pastor that you're asking me those
Yeah.
questions.
That's
I would have
awesome.
been
So
like,
she,
I don't, but there's demons.
right. But I see one
Hey,
behind
we were actually approached by a friend of mine from high school who still lives in the area that we grew up in and goes to a church that is like super like old. It's really old. I mean, they've renovated it and everything, but the structure itself is old.
you.
And he's like, "Yeah, my pastor would like you to come in and investigate the church."
What?
What? Something happened and never became a thing, but I want to touch base with them again because it's a pretty cool church. It's
Yeah.
like super,
Yeah.
like really old, and it's like in the middle of town. It's just like, I don't know. It was just weird though, because like, I grew like I had to like when I was growing up, I had to like hide this stuff from my parents because we went to a very weird, like over the top Pentecostal church.
Oh shit.
Like transformers were demonically possessed robots, and you couldn't play with regular toys, you couldn't listen to secular music. It was just, it was hell. But yeah, I couldn't imagine.
And look at you now.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm like, the hell with religion. Let's hunt ghosts.
Right.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
John, I did watch Nun too, man. I actually enjoyed that better, more than the first one. It was a good movie.
Yeah, I mean, if you really think about it in the church aspect, I would just say that 95% of them are haunted.
I would think so.
Mm-hmm.
You think about it, and we had a lot of the spirits had referenced the Lutheran church across the street from the bell,
Mm-hmm.
and we asked them numerous times, what's across the street at the church, and they would bring up the D word a lot. I'm like, I would think about it, and I would think about it,
Yeah.
and we were having an event one time, and the music director from across the street from the church
Yeah.
comes over, and we had an old organ we were trying to get rid of at the time, and we were talking to him about it, see if they would want it. And of course, the conversation come up. So I asked him about the church. I said, "Did you see anything in there?" And he goes, "Oh yeah, all the time." He's especially the West Chapel. He said that thing's extremely haunted. And I was
Really?
like, all right, it's piquing my interest here, And if you think about it, so if you die and you decide to stay in this realm, this earth, your earthbound spirit, you decide to stay,
Mhm.
and you talk about a lot of places like theaters or
Yeah.
state or places where they were gathering for happy stuff, like you pay
Mhm.
tickets to go on a
Mhm.
weekend to go do stuff. Places like that have a lot of residual energy, a lot of energy into them, a lot of hauntings, because it's still going to attract the spirits in the afterlife.
Right.
Same goes for church.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
So
I agree.
if again, if you're still here and you're wandering around, and knocking pictures off the walls on people's houses just to tease them and stuff, but you'd still be going to church, like it's a familiar place.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
But now you're on a different level, which is the spiritual level.
Right.
So what else is going to go there? The evil side.
But I mean,
Right.
isn't there like something about like demons can't go on sacred ground or some shit?
I think that's all hogwash. I think it's all hogwash on that.
You think they just
I
tell
think
people that so they feel better about it? Plus, honestly, like everything is labeled a demon. It's probably just somebody who was an asshole in real life.
well, yeah, Yeah, and they're portraying themselves in that way.
Right.
They're trying to control other spiritual stuff. But
Mhm.
I think if there's a spiritual battleground going, it's going to be in churches,
Yeah.
not at
Yeah.
your abandoned building down the street that has, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's
Yeah.
not going to
Yeah.
be there.
Yeah.
What's
Mhm.
the point of being there for them? There's no point being there.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
if you're in that level of evil, you're going to be at places where you can impose damage.
Yeah.
You're going to find mentally weak people, and you're going to attach to them, and you're going to wreak havoc on their lives.
Yeah.
And then in the living aspect, or you're going to go to somewhere where it's still a spiritual battleground, and you're
Mhm.
having it out there. So to me, it would make sense that it would be in churches.
Well, the other
Yeah.
thing too, like I talk about a lot, places like lighthouses.
Hmm.
Lighthouses, when you worked the lighthouse, when you were the keeper, that was your entire life. Every single thing about your life was focused on that job, right?
Mhm.
So it makes sense so that when they pass away, they're just going to stay there because that's all they've ever known and it's always been so important to them. And I feel like churches are kind of like that too. People give everything they have to the churches when they're alive. So it would make sense for them to continue that in the afterlife.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah.
They're all talking about the time change.
Oh,
Yeah, the
it
time
does.
is ridiculous.
It kills me, like driving home at 5 o'clock, but it's dark
Mhm.
out, and it feels like it's. I get home, I'm like, I gotta go to bed. And I think it's worse now that I'm older too. I don't
Yeah,
know.
we get older and we're crankier, and you got to take
Right.
a
Yeah.
nap in between that, and when you go home to bedtime, and it's just
Right.
Right.
so. So hear me out on this, okay? So you have residual energy,
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
okay? So it is, yeah, we know it's a glimpse of time being replayed by the structure or the surroundings and this or that. Now let's say, Goose, you wake up every morning, you go to the bathroom to take a piss, you go back to your room to change, and then you go from your room to the kitchen to make coffee. You make your cup of coffee. Now you got to take a shit, so
Are
you're
you
back.
hanging out at my house in the morning? I'm sorry.
Yes, I have a camera on yourself. I'm getting somewhere. Hold on.
I'm like, you're legitimately like nailing my morning every day.
So now the coffee hit, so now you got to take a shit, and you go back to the bathroom, and then back to the kitchen to gather all your belongings, and then out to your garage, and you're off to work.
Mhm.
This is like a routine every
Mhm.
morning.
Yeah.
So what you're doing is you right now are creating residual energy
Mhm.
in your house.
Yep.
So you don't technically have to be dead to create a residual energy.
Right.
Right.
So what if sometimes what we see, that shadow figure, could be yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or someone or somebody in
Or
your
yeah,
house who
it could
does
be
the
your
same thing all
spouse
the
or
time. Yeah.
your kids. I mean, if they have the same routine, this or
Right.
that. Let's say one day, you don't do that exact thing and you do something else, and all of a sudden you
Yeah.
see like a shadow.
Right.
Mhm.
What it, you know what I mean? I mean,
Doing your normal routine.
it could be the same
Right.
because you
Yeah.
say, us human beings create poltergeists.
Right.
So why couldn't we see I mean, like, hey, I'm ghost hunting myself.
Yeah, well, to me
Right.
that makes more sense than like what like that explain to me that's a better explanation of it what a doppelganger it would be.
Yeah.
Right.
It's just because I mean that's legitimately that's happened at Madison. I know people have seen
Right.
Jeff
Mhm.
Fent walking down the hallways when he's not actually there. He's in a
Mhm.
completely different area.
Right.
I mean I hear it all the time in shadows and stuff like that. Yeah, I mean that can get it's like it's called the stone tape theory. Like things
Right.
just your energy just gets saturated into the floors, into the walls. Especially if you're living on some kind of geological, whatever, something
Right.
that's very that could just saturate the energy. So I totally am on board with that. And
Yeah.
um, I
And
just it's
And
But
even the materials of the buildings too, like, right,
oh yeah,
like
yeah.
Freemasons would
Mhm.
build things purposely out of like sandstone, I think.
Yeah, you have sandstone, you got limestone. I mean, the
Yeah.
softer natural stone
Mhm.
will absorb the energy, you know. So
And honestly, that makes me, oh, sorry, Travis. That makes me happier because, a lot of times when we're investigating, it's, it is residual and it's people still doing their jobs,
mhm,
Yeah.
like the
Yep.
lighthouse innkeeper,
mhm.
or, just randomly we'll investigate a laundry room and you'll hear them talking about things that have to do
Mhm.
with laundry. And
Yeah.
it makes me happy to think that it's residual and not that we have to have jobs for an eternity, like,
Well, I mean, there's
I
been a
don't
couple
want my
times at Madison that I'll like down in the area where they would be doing laundry.
Right.
I could hear a woman singing. I've heard it a couple times. Just like
yeah,
she's just doing her thing, singing along, trying to get
yeah.
through the day.
And I'm just
Or
praying that that's residual and not like you have to have a
Wow.
job for eternity.
yeah,
Yep, there's ghost jobs. I'm sorry.
Right?
yeah, right.
Do you at least get to pick it or
Well,
is it a sign?
Yeah, right.
if you're gonna haunt my house, you better damn well be making some kind of effort to help me out.
Yeah, right?
Well, it's funny. Our friend Tina Frick, she bought an older house, and she said that there was a guy in her basement. She was a little worried about, like a spirit in her basement. She's a medium, and she's like, he was like original of the house. He like worked on the house. She's like, I had a light out. Nobody fixed it. She came in one day and it was fixed.
It's fixed.
Like
Nice.
it was even a new light bulb.
All
Like
right.
literally the old light bulb. It's just like,
That's what I'm
so
talking about.
that's like
Ghost of the house. Do you
that's
hear
more of like
that?
an intelligent thing. But I know when I ran the ghost hunts at Anadine Farm here in Barberton, Ohio, a lot of the stories I told were just things that happen over and over again.
Mhm.
Like, why would this barn be haunted? Because this person worked this area like every day doing the
Right.
same job,
People put their
sweeping out,
lives into their
yeah,
jobs.
sweeping the shit out of the whatevers,
No, literally the shit.
cleaning. Yeah, literally. And the thing, and I always tell the story because the thing with Anadine Farms was OC Barber, the owner, he would hire people that couldn't get jobs anywhere else. Like they
Mhm.
had some kind of developmental disability or, some kind of physical disability that kept them from being able to get jobs. And he would give them homes, he would feed them,
Kind
give
of like
them,
a poor farm.
yeah,
Mhm.
but he'd give them purpose and they were treated well.
Yeah.
They were given clothes, food. So yeah, actually one of the haunts there was a woman who, she had like horrible scoliosis. Back in the day they would call it a humpback. But she couldn't get a job anywhere but there. And when OC Barber died, she actually hung herself behind the barn because she had nowhere to go. She had no family.
Mhm.
She just didn't know what to do. So she just ended
Oh.
it. And she's one of the ladies that still haunts the barn there. And people have caught pictures like lights of her and not orbs, like literal lights. I'm not talking
Right.
orbs. We're talking like spirit lights. So it's just I get it. The residual, I think that's like probably 75% of what we witness is
Oh yeah, 100%. I
haunts.
agree. Yeah.
We're gonna go back to Travis.
Okay.
What's up, Travis?
No, that is on my bucket list though. Have any of you
I've been to both.
have you?
Yeah, been to Father. Well, first trip to Father John's, I ate there, had dinner there. That was amazing food. So if you go to Father John's, please eat there first, because good. Father John's is cool. It's an amazing place. It's got so many different artifacts from across the world, and all that energy is brought into there. The history of being a church and now what they're doing there now. It's a beautiful location. I 100% recommend investigating there. It's pretty cool. Now, Auglays Village is a little different. It takes on a different life every time. So you're talking about a property that have brought buildings from other locations and made this complex. So you have, a barn, you have old cabins, you have an old post office, an old train station, school, church. There's a military museum. So you have
Oh,
all
wow.
this different energy from different time periods being brought into
Mhm.
one location, on top of where it's at in Ohio by Defiance. A lot of Native American stuff
Right.
there.
Yeah.
It's just, it comes to life. It is it's Auglaize Village. I can go and investigate 100 times, and every single time it's going to be completely different.
That's
So
awesome.
Auglaize is definitely worth it. Austin Maynard runs both locations
Yeah.
with Underground Paranormal Network. I 100%. Both of them I would definitely go to again.
Oh, he said he ate it, Father John's.
I'm telling you, man, like my mouth's watering right now thinking about the steak, man. I'm like, oh crap. And it's a
What'd you eat that was so
microbrewery
good?
too. What'd you say?
So what you eat that was so good? I
Man,
gotta know.
the steak that I had
Yeah.
there. Oh man, it was good. It was good. And it's a microbrewery.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's just a cool place.
Yeah.
I would
I love
recommend.
those places. Yeah, we had Austin on. He was telling us about all these places, man. It's a network he's got going.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Well, they got a hell
I've
of a
only
crew
been
too.
yeah. The only place I've been able to make it out to though is Middle Point. I went out there with a couple people. I was invited out there. It was a good time. It was an interesting building.
Yeah, Middle Point's it's a unique location.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I tell people all the time. I'm like, it doesn't make
You-
sense.
It
It
don't.
shouldn't be haunted. It shouldn't,
Mhm.
it makes no sense. It doesn't have any of like the cookie cutter things for a
the
haunting.
the area around it is kind of sketch. I'm not gonna lie. There's a lot of
Yeah.
history with that. It doesn't make sense, but it's one of the locations where I guarantee you're gonna walk out with a phenomenal piece of
Right.
evidence, or you had a
Mhm.
phenomenal experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was really cool. I would like to go back when we're not like running an event, so we
Yeah.
could actually like focus more on doing an investigation instead of like, making sure people are happy.
Right.
um,
Yeah.
Yeah,
it was really cool.
in the gymnasium the first time I was there, I had one of probably the best disembodied voice ever.
Yeah.
And
Nice.
I was grabbing equipment to give to somebody. We were kind of going those little cubby holes, and
Mhm.
I heard a little girl scream at me in the gym. She
Oh
said,
my god.
she goes, "You need to follow the leader." And I stopped and I looked, and I'm looking around, and I looked at her and I'm like, "Did you hear that?" And she said, "No." And I'm like, "How did you not?" Like, I
Right.
am like
Yeah.
shocked that I turned around and there was not a little girl there. Like,
Wow.
I
Oh
went
shit.
outside of Middle Point School, I walked
Yeah.
around it, there was no kids anywhere.
Yeah.
I was like, that was cool. That was cool.
Yeah. And for her to say you need to follow the leader, like that's such
Because
a
I was
school
following
kid.
somebody in
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
so yeah, it was cool. I'll never forget that. I'll never forget that.
That's crazy.
Is there a place that kind of like is at the top of your list as places you've been to?
What's on the top? What did you say now? One more time.
I
Out of
said,
the
as far as like all the places that you've been, is there one that's like at the top of your list of most haunted, or it's kind of all different?
I've been on some residential cases and I've seen some super nasty stuff, man. Uh
Yeah.
that's just I was just gonna put those aside over
Mhm.
here. Uh
Yeah.
I hate to say it, but because I'm no longer involved, but 100% the Bell Mansion.
Mhm.
Yeah.
100%.
I mean, I've heard amazing things from everybody that's been there investigating, been involved in any way. So it's a place I'd like
Well,
to get to.
it started off, man. I mean, the first 100 hours of investigating, I had over 300 clips of evidence
Oh
Wow.
shit!
of
Wow.
this place, and so many different types of spirits and so much residual energy. And then in
Mhm.
some areas, the EMF being so high, like a
Yeah.
superconductor, where yes, it's going to make your equipment going haywire. But
Right.
when I can ask them in that area, One of the ITC REM pods from Gary
Yeah.
Gallagher, the black and red one, where I can stand there in that area and be like, can you just show me blue?
Yes.
And it goes just blue.
Yeah.
Come on, that is an intelligent response. That is something that can manipulate that piece of equipment and hold it on that color. It's very intelligent. So, yeah, to me, I mean, unfortunately, I would definitely have to say the Bell Mansion.
Yeah.
I've seen it all there. So. Full body apparitions, shadow figures,
Yeah.
kangaroo ghost jumped in front of my car.
That was interesting.
That's wild.
You head back though. Oh, keep him in mind.
It's so funny when people say something and it like triggers a memory that you have.
Yeah.
I was driving one time and swore that I hit a woman and her body fell off of the bridge. Like I had to pull over and was crying because I'm telling my sister, I have no idea. I have no idea what happened, but it was the same thing. I just like.
So you literally disintegrated somebody.
I
There's
thought
no
I
body.
hit somebody.
There's no body.
I did not. There was no body. No, there was no damage to my car.
You hit a lady and murdered her and just disintegrated her.
I murdered her so bad that there was
what
no
the hell,
body
D?
and I did it so quick that my sister, who was my passenger, never saw her.
I need to start doing background checks with co-hosts on this show.
She was like,
freaking
gone.
She just admitted to murder.
Yeah. Live on the air. Yeah, it was wild.
We can't come up with a lot of true crime, so we just got to make up our own shit.
Right.
It's so weird though, like just how one person can see something or hear something, like the little girl, and the other person doesn't.
Yeah, it doesn't
and it
make
just
any
makes
sense.
you feel like you're crazy.
It makes no sense.
Yeah.
But to me, it was like there was a little girl standing right behind me.
Right.
I mean, that is loud. Like, I don't know. You know what? I do have a road trip or a driving ghost story real quick.
See, it happens.
So I'm driving from Woodburn to Fort Wayne, going the back country roads through Amish country.
Yeah.
And I'm coming up on like an S turn. So I come into the S turn and I can see down on the other bend, there's an Amish man walking along the outside of the fence. So I see him, and so I got about a quarter mile coming up, and I'm coming up and I'm rounding the curb. And then for some reason it dawned on me, I'm like, I looked over, I'm like, where's the dude? There's no Amish dude walking there. So I like slow down. I'm looking everywhere in this field, and one behind. I'm like, there's no Amish dude anywhere.
Yeah. So
maybe I hit him and murdered him. I don't know.
It happens to the best of us, Nick. You're fine. It's so wild. And then I wonder, like, why? Like, why did that guy choose to show himself to you for a split second? You know, like, what am I supposed to take from this? Like, I don't know. Just so many,
just be residual again.
See, next time it happens, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stop the car. I'm gonna get out, go sit in the pasture, and namaste for a little bit. So I understand this.
Yeah. Bust out your recorder, sit down.
Spirit,
there you go.
What was I supposed to understand?
Yeah. What are you trying to tell me? You know?
Bring me the truth.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, it's just like what gives people the ability to have these glimpses, because it probably was just something residual. That man probably worked in that field or walked that road a million times before, but like, how come you got to see it? And at that moment, you know?
Right.
I don't have any good driving stories. I'm kind of jealous now.
And you drive a lot too. That's weird.
I know. I don't drive too much at night, but I mean, as many times as I've been out in the middle of nowhere. I mean, just growing up and driving around the country all the time. I mean, I mean, I'm sure it's probably, well, I wasn't driving. I was little. And it was just weird because, it's a whole nother story for a different time. I've told it a million times. So I think I probably told it on your show, but I just saw people walking down the road that years later I found out were the kids that died in my house or died in a car accident that lived in the house that we just moved into.
Mhm.
So it's
That's
like
weird.
I kind of remember the car accident because there's a bunch of fire department trucks and police ambulance flying down our street, and all that's all going on. I see these two like teen kids just walking up the street, just like not looking around. It just looked weird. But you know, I
Mhm.
was little. I didn't know. I mean, I didn't know what's going on. I just thought it was two kids walking down the street. But there was just something weird about them. And I remember it after we moved into the new house, and I realized that was the accident. Those
Mhm.
two kids, and then we moved into their house. There's just a weird circle of
That is
events. But
weird.
that's the only thing I've seen on the road like that. But I wasn't driving. Like I was like literally like 6, 7 years old. So,
Right.
Wow.
but still, it's on the road. The road has a lot of stories to tell. I do know that.
Yeah. Maybe it's just like the sandstone or whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe it holds it in there.
So I want this will trip you out. So I got a call from a family down in Greenville, Tennessee. Okay, so they had a bunch of stuff going on, and oddly enough, my cousin Liz had lived in Greenville for a while, so she's like, "We got to go. We got to do this case. We got to do this case." I'm like, "Okay." So we pretty much did like a turn and burn. Like we left Fort Wayne, drove down to Greenville, Tennessee. It was about almost 9 hour drive.
Wow.
Ate dinner, investigated that night, and then drove home. But about 3 days, no, 4 days before we were supposed to leave, I get a message in Facebook Messenger from this lady. I don't know who she is. She claims to be a
Hmm.
medium. And we had posted that we were heading to Tennessee, on Facebook
Right.
and blah, blah, blah.
Mhm.
She goes, I know you don't know me, but I seen your post and something just tapped into me. And, I felt obligated to tell you that be careful on your trip because I'm seeing something really bad happening on your trip there. And
Oh,
I'm like,
geez.
who the hell are you? And what do you mean something bad's going to happen? Like, you don't just drop this on people. Like,
Yeah,
and just
especially a
as bad as
stranger.
walking up on somebody and dry reading them. You don't do that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, what do you mean? She's like, I don't know. I just see a really bad truck accident. She's like, what kind of vehicle do you drive? I said, a truck. I'm like, what? you know?
Yeah.
And she's like, I don't know, blah, blah, blah. And then I'm seeing fire. And I'm like,
The hell?
what the hell? So I
Yeah.
sit on this for a couple days, like
Uh-huh.
all 20. I mean, it did not leave my mind for 48 hours.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
call like an emergency team meeting. So I bring my team over and I tell them this story. And I'm like, I don't know if I want to go now.
Right.
Like, I'm freaked out. And, the more I thought about it, I'm like, hey, this is what we signed up for. We know we're going into places that there could be stuff that affect us negatively.
Mhm.
I mean, this is what we signed up for. So if this is my fate, it is what it is. We're going to go. So I decided to go. Like the whole trip down, like every semi I'm passing and seeing, I'm like driving, like,
Yeah.
just move, like, and all this stuff. I'm like freaked out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
White
And
knuckling it the whole way.
we get about 10 miles to Greenville. We're coming up and we're getting ready to turn off a major highway. We're at a light. We're going to turn on this other highway. And all of a sudden, I hear sirens coming up and a state trooper comes flying up. He slams on his brakes, goes down the off ramp in the direction we're going to go. So we get, we're following him down the interstate. So I'm going this way, but it didn't dawn on me that there's no traffic on the other side.
Oh.
And all of a sudden I hear more sirens. So I'm going on the north lane or the south lane. And in the north lane, there's state troopers flying down that direction. And I'm looking over, I'm like, well, that's fucked up. Like, there's no what? We
Yeah.
come up, there's a massive tractor trailer accident.
Holy
And
shit.
Wow.
literally bodies on the pavement. Like we
Oh my
Holy
see.
crap,
gosh.
man.
Okay, so huge truck accident, correct?
Right.
Yeah.
All right, so there's one. So she was right, just wasn't me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
We get to these people's house to investigate, and we're setting up. And my sister was still on the team, and she goes to do her walkthrough while I'm setting up equipment, DVR system, blah blah blah, static camera, you know.
Right.
She comes out to me after her walkthrough, and she goes, I said, "Well, how did it go? Did you get a lot of notes? Blah blah blah." And she goes, "You know what's odd?" And I'm like, "What?" She goes, "The basement is really hot." And I'm like, "What?" Well,
Yeah.
normally you go in the basement, it's cooler.
Yeah, it's cold.
Blah blah blah. You're below ground.
Yeah.
So I start trucking down there. I was like, all right, I'll go down to the basement. I go down to the basement. Sure enough, it's 10 degrees warmer in the basement than it is on the first floor.
Wow.
And I'm looking around, and I'm like, I look up, and the family have shoved insulation in between the floor joists.
Oh.
It
Okay.
looked like they were getting ready to drywall the ceiling in the basement, but they hadn't got to that point. So they have regular fiber insulation in between the floor joists. Now we come down later to do a session in the basement, and I'm like, man, the dryer lint smell is really strong down here.
Oh no.
What the hell? And so I go over to the dryer and I look, and the dryer vent snake is completely off of it. Now they were remodeling this basement, so the back side of the washer and dryer, that wall was in studs. There was no drywall yet.
Okay.
Okay.
Their dryer, so that came off, and right
Mhm.
above it was an outlet with no cover on it. So
Oh,
this
Jesus
dryer
Christ, man.
lint is going
Just shooting
into
out.
the outlet and literally could catch fire at any moment.
Right.
That's crazy.
Now, this was a old Cape Cod house.
Mm-hmm.
So the kids slept on the first floor. The parents had like the little loft Cape Cod upstairs. And I immediately come running upstairs. You know, I unplugged their dryer. I hooked their dryer vent back up. And I brought them down there and I showed them. And I told them, I said, guys, one little spark, your house is in flames.
Right.
5 minutes. And by the time you two parents wake up on the second floor, I said, your children would already be dead.
Yeah. Damn, dude.
That's so scary.
Yeah.
And they're a young couple. They didn't know much about much, to be honest.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm glad I went. So the second aspect of that medium's premonition
Right.
technically came true.
Yeah.
He was seeing fire.
Mm-hmm.
So crazy.
I mean, but still, it's a little unconventional to just randomly text a stranger and say, hey, I feel like you're going to die and there's going to be a truck crash and a fire.
Yeah.
I'm going to text you tomorrow, D. You're randomly going to kill a ghost tomorrow.
Hey, I got a long drive tomorrow. Don't send me any mediums out there. Just keep it to yourself. I don't need to know.
Right. That's got to be a struggle, though, as a medium. Like,
Yeah.
do you tell the person? Because if you
Right.
don't, and then they die in a truck crash or a fire,
How do
gotta
you
live
then
live
you
with
would
that
feel
guilt.
bad.
Yeah. I don't know.
But then there's the whole like butterfly effect thing. Like, what if you do tell them, and then they like you didn't go on the trip, and then it changes things.
Yeah, because you were meant to go and die on that trip.
Right.
That was your fate, your destiny. I don't know. It's a good question. That's a big rabbit hole.
Right.
Yeah, it is.
Because at the same time, if that's what was meant to happen, it's also meant for her to get that message and give to you. So maybe that was fate, was you getting the message and changing things.
Right.
It's crazy.
It's like the multiverse. It could go 5 million different ways.
Yeah.
And it probably has, or probably is.
Right.
So I don't know. It almost hurts me to think about It's like
I know. It's
ah,
yeah.
Have you heard the theory that when they built the CERN super
I
collider,
knew it. Yep.
when they fired it up,
Yeah.
that our reality split at that moment?
You know what? I believe it.
I
I'm just
kinda
gonna
do too. I kind of
I'm
do
just gonna
too.
say it. There's way too many Mandela effects for it not to be true. Like, and it seems like okay, so one of them is that like your heart is on the left. I believe that your heart is on the left. That's what I was always taught. That's what all the pictures in school, when you hold your hand over your heart, you hold it on the left side. Now apparently your heart's in the middle in this dimension. I don't know. But there are things like that like people believe all of the same ones. You know what I mean? Like somebody who believes that your heart is on the left also believes like, that the Monopoly man had a monocle and you know what I mean? Like
yeah.
all the same ones. And then the people who believe that your heart is in the middle all believe the same ones too. So it's like they're
Yeah.
obviously just two totally different worlds. There's no other explanation.
That was all too much for me to wrap my head around.
Yeah, it's a lot.
I know it is.
Welcome to my TikTok algorithm.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh
You
my
watch one of
God.
those videos, you're screwed.
Yeah.
You
Yep.
are screwed. That's all you're getting for the next 4 days.
Yeah. And don't ever like search CERN because
Yeah,
then
and
you're done.
I just checked to see, like, I was gonna share the show at like one last time, and then you were just talking about Monopoly.
See?
The game popped up
I
on my
like how they
phone.
say that they don't spy on you.
Bullshit. Everybody's listening.
Listen, I needed to get estimates to get windows on the house.
Mhm.
And so I just talked to my husband about it. And wouldn't you know, my Facebook feed is full of ads for windows. I don't even have to do any research or anything. All the companies are right there. Smart. If you're looking for
Yeah.
a gift for Christmas, just talk
Mhm.
about it in your living room. And Facebook will show you ads for it and tell you how to find it.
What?
Free pickup trucks. Free pickup
Yeah.
trucks. Free.
So you're out with your friends having a beer and you guys are joking around, and all of a sudden you're talking about sex toys, and then all of a sudden your news feed for the next week is sex toys.
Yeah. Yeah.
Every
Yeah.
time you open your Facebook, you're like, shit.
Right?
Right.
I see that.
Yeah.
No,
No,
I
honey,
don't
I'm not
want
looking
butt
at
plugs.
anything.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Or there's
Oh
like
my
so many
God, yeah.
times I Google things because I'm like, we're doing an investigation and,
Mhm.
somebody's talking about how they were murdered a certain way. And you're like, is that even possible? So then you're Googling like, how could you
Right.
kill somebody?
Yeah.
My Google search has probably gotten me at least 2 CIA agents following me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I was at the Mid Michigan Paracon last weekend,
Mhm.
Yeah.
ending, and Jeff next to me, he invented the card game Killers. I don't know if you guys have heard it.
Yeah.
Killers
Yeah.
card
Yeah.
game.
Yeah.
And I'm listening to him all weekend, going to the spiel, and he's like, and if you buy the extra package, you can get the ball gag, even the chipper, and you can throw kids in the wood chipper. And I'm like, all fucking weekend
What?
long. I'm like, bro.
Oh my God, dude.
And I'm watching
Wow.
these people, and his table is full, and it's about serial killers and how to kill
Yeah.
people 500 different ways. And we kind of hit a lull, and I said, Jeff, I said, out of your demographic, how many women purchase your game?
Yeah.
He said, oh,
Yeah.
guarantee 80%.
99%. Yeah.
No, he said 80%. And he said, out of the 25%, 15% of those men are buying it for their wives.
Yes,
So
exactly.
90%. And I said, okay, in that 90% or 80% or whatever demographic, okay, of women, how many are in the age of 35 to 55? And he goes, oh, guaranteed 75%, and they're white women. I said,
Yep.
I fucking knew it.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like so many couples, it's like this middle-aged white woman, and she's like, oh my God, and you can kill him this way and do this or that. And the husband's like,
Yeah, right. Hey, Dad, can I borrow the spare room for a while? Especially my dad, because there's plenty of weapons around to protect myself.
Oh gosh, I don't know what it is about us.
Just word of advice for people out there: stay away from middle-aged white women. That's all I'm
Yeah,
saying.
yeah, because
I'm married to one.
we know how people got caught, so we know what
Yeah.
to avoid.
Hence
Yeah,
the
see
Chibble
how
spot
it
that
goes?
game.
And how old
That's
are you?
awesome.
And can you please write in the comments how old you are? Tell me that I'm right now.
We all know
Oh,
you're right,
gosh.
man. I mean,
It's true.
true crime is like the hottest thing
Mhm.
on YouTube right now, and it's mostly women doing the podcasts,
And I
making the
literally can't
content,
even
and
tell you why. Like I think it is just,
yeah.
middle-aged white woman thing because I can't tell you why I like listening to it or watching it or whatever. No idea. I think it's literally just in my genes.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
She's 39. See, there
Yeah.
you go.
Yep.
Like just seeing like the twinkle in their eyes, like it's Christmas
Yeah.
Yeah.
morning, as Jeff is giving his
It's-
spiel.
Right.
To win the game, you have to have 10 kills and not get caught, and blah blah blah. And
Yeah.
it's like, all
That's
right,
right.
I think I need this
Crazy, man.
game.
it's called Killers, the card game. There you go.
Can you order it on Amazon or you have to get it from
You,
Jeff?
you have to get it from Jeff. I think
Oh,
he
okay.
has his website. I don't know.
Okay.
It was
So
interesting.
funny. Right. I'm sure it's gonna pop up right away. So
Right?
they're always listening.
Killers.
Don't worry, my Facebook will show it to me within the next 10 minutes.
Killers the card game. Killers
Buy
the
Jeffrey
card
Dahmer's biography for $19.99.
game.
What was
Well, it
the
sounds like it's probably the safer bet now, buddy.
Do it. Do what?
what was the movie that, oh my god, I can't even, that Zac Efron did of the serial killer?
Ted Bundy. It was Ted Bundy.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I literally I don't do the I don't watch serial killer stuff like most middle-aged white women. But I watched that movie and I was like asking my husband at the end, I'm like, do you really think he did it? And he's like, yes, he did it. I'm like, he seems so nice though. Are you sure?
Well, his charm was his lure. I mean,
And if he was
women-
still around, you'd be his next victim. You'd be like,
Yes,
yes,
yes.
he's killing you. I just don't believe you're doing this right,
Right.
now.
I
You
think
want
it's
to talk about it?
Yeah. My wife's did a whole research project in high school on Ted Bundy, and she's just upset. She's just the middle-aged white woman watching all the true crime, but she really gets into all the the big
Right.
serial killers. She watches all the specials, all the YouTube content. I pick one guy that I think is interesting because I just want to get in his head, Ed Kemper. And she's like, she gets on me. She's like, that's disgusting. I'm like, what? Ted Bundy, Dahmer. Let's go down the list, right? I picked one guy that I'm interested in because he's just an interesting guy. Like, I don't
Yeah.
appreciate what he did.
Right.
The crime, I don't
Right.
like that. I want to know what was going on in his head. Because he actually gave himself in. He brought himself in.
Yeah.
He's like, mentally, I was done. It's just
Mhm.
I want to think, and now he narrates children's books, and I told my wife I want to find one of these one of these audio books that he's narrated.
Mhm.
She's like, why would you want that? I'm like, if Ted Bundy narrated, if he was still alive and narrated a book, wouldn't you want it? She's like,
Right.
oh, yeah, probably. I'm like, what's the difference? He's good looking. Ed Kemper is a big fat dude. I don't know.
You know, another interesting thing I found out: the state of Ohio has, I think, the most serial killers ever,
Mhm.
like famous.
Yeah,
Michigan
we're
has
really
like
cool like that.
Michigan has like one, because that was the other thing. Because they were talking about the first kit comes with 500 somebody, and all the people are like, "Is there anybody from Michigan?" He's like, "Well, there's only one in there," and they're like, "Oh." I'm like,
Yeah.
Losers.
don't get
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. That's
Again,
funny.
Ohio beats Michigan, just saying.
Oh shit.
And now that
No.
we passed issue 2 and we can smoke our weed wherever we want to. We don't need to come to Michigan anymore.
That's right. We have no need for Michigan except for Paracons.
Yeah,
Now,
yeah.
Indiana will be the last state.
Yeah.
We are idiots. I'm like,
I can't wait to see how many stipulations they're going to put on this issue now, though. Like, I mean, there's going to be,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I don't smoke the shit anymore. I mean, if I was allowed to at work, I would. Like, especially now that we're allowed to do it recreationally. But I work for. I'm not even supposed to be smoking, so
Right.
I could get. They test for nicotine. So
Yeah.
I mean, but I'm just glad that people are going to be able to get it safely. That's the biggest thing here.
Yeah.
They'll be able to get it safely without anything nasty in it, dangerous in it.
Right.
How would we get to that? So I apologize. I went on a total just fourth wheel is officially lost.
Okay, so as soon as this was announced, it came out, late Tuesday, Wednesday morning. My team is on here, so we're only like 15 minutes from the Ohio border, Fort Wayne. So
yeah,
when I was a kid, we'd drive to Hicksville, Ohio to buy beer,
right?
because you can be 18 in Ohio, it's 21 here. So
Yeah.
now we go to Ohio to get the weed.
Yeah.
But our team was like, so when do we open a dispensary? And I'm like, so the whole rabbit hole starts going through your head. I'm like, oh, we can make a paranormal theme, and we can
Oh my God.
each strand a different team, and you can get the spooky dookie ghost or the spectrum. See, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And then Sean comes on. He's like,
The
yeah.
Cryptic.
He goes, and the skunk weed, we'll name it the Zach Bagan strand.
Oh my God, stop it.
So this went on for like 3 hours on like a Wednesday morning.
That's perfect, dude.
Right.
I'm like, God, that's fucking brilliant.
It has so much potential, honestly. Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go, guys.
Yeah. I'm like marketing in my head right now.
Yeah.
Like you could use a K2 meter to show you what end of the spectrum it's at.
Yeah.
Like if all the lights are lit up, then it's going to make you sleepy. But if it's only on green, then it'll keep you going.
If it stays green, it's sativa. If it goes all the way to red, it's indica.
It's an indica. Yeah. It's a K2.
Don't ask me how I know these things.
It'd be cute. Like it'd be cute.
I smoked a lot of shit and I still don't know what the hell you're talking about. Just like, is this stuff going to kill me? No? Okay, cool.
Cool. But yeah, Heisenberg's not here, so I will ask you, Nick.
Okay.
Do you have anything that you would like to plug?
Ooh, do I want to plug? Yes, I do. I have many things. Oh, you want me to plug it now?
Do it.
All right. Follow us on Old World Paranormal Podcast, OLDE, Old World Paranormal Podcast. 87 wonderful episodes. You can listen to me sound like an idiot, like I did this whole hour. And Sean Cleditz. We talked to a lot of cool people on there. Even the Goose was on. Follow us, Old World Paranormal Society, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, blah blah blah. Also follow Bree Hollingshead on all her social media platforms. #BeLikeBree. It's probably the hottest new thing in the paranormal right now. We got a lot of things coming up. 2024 is going to be a huge year. I'm going to have a lot of events. We're looking to purchase a location.
Oh, wow.
And you'll see my face all over the place. So.
Nice.
Oh, God.
You're the only reason I came to MadCon. I wanted to see you. Now that I'm on your show, I can retire. I'm done.
Yeah, this is it. This is the epitome.
You just wanted to stare right there into my baby blue so I could give you those sexy words.
Yeah.
Shut up. I'm glad, man. I'm really happy, excited for you guys. And you guys are going up and up. So congrats on all that. We'll be looking for you. And we'll have you on again when everything starts getting rolling.
Yeah, when you get your location and you want to talk about it. And
we're I have some ideas. We've been searching around. I don't want to find something that's too far away, but
Mhm.
it's got to make
Right.
sense, and it's got. I want a location that we could do multiple things in. So it's not just
Yeah.
paranormal and just make
Mhm.
it work. And of
Oh,
course, it has to be haunted first.
Right.
So
yeah.
we shall see. That is the goal in 2024. That is the goal.
All right, man.
Very
Good luck.
cool.
So appreciate it, guys.
I'm gonna go. Yep, I'm gonna go ahead and plug one thing real quick. Everybody's been seeing my posts on Facebook and all the socials. Got the Old Mill Pear Fest coming up this weekend. Super excited about that. Great guests. I mean, we got John Zaffis, Tim Miley, some asshole named the Goose, Jerry Holland, Taylor Bushman, and Adam Chislick. Tim Woolworth was on there, but he had to pull out for health reasons. He's not.
Yeah.
He's been just having. It's too hard for him to be in big crowds and keep his head straight on things. But
Yeah.
praying for him, and he said he might show up and just say hey to everybody real quick. But hopefully he does. I'm looking forward to it. I did it in 2018, which was a kind of a shitty year, but it was one of the things that stood out as one of the most fantastic cons that I had been to. So I'm super excited to get back. And I don't know, Tim's probably not watching because he's running around, running his ass off, getting everything ready for tomorrow. But
They take a lot of work.
Yeah.
A lot of work.
Yep, done it myself a couple times, and I always think, am I gonna do it again? Nah.
Yeah.
But excited about that, and we'll see what happens, man. But thanks for being on, dude. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
Yeah, this was
100%. Thanks,
Good,
guys. I
good
appreciate
talking
it.
to you. And hey, guys, have a good weekend. We'll see you next time. Speak you later, crypto heads.
And don't be an asshole.
Oh,
What she said.
that's good.
Shut up. Don't be an asshole. We love you guys. Have a good weekend.
Bye.